Welcome back to the Artie Lange Show. It's Hot Chick Night. I'll tell you, what a good time. Three of the hottest chicks ever, including Tony Gonzalez. I've seen Tony up front. He's a good-looking person. Yeah. But I like Natalia's looks better. This is Natalia Reagan.
Well, thank you.
She has done everything from improv to stand-up to hosting. She's got a lot going on now. She's on the show Looking for Bigfoot.
Actually, it's $10 million Bigfoot bounty.
I'm sorry, $10 million.
It's okay.
Oh, right.
And what does she do, Mike? You said this in the intro. What else does she do?
She's an anthropologist.
Anthropologist. That's what someone from Staten Island says, anthropologist.
Yeah, that's true.
Anthropologist. Mm-hmm. Good, Mike.
Do you prefer primatologist?
Well,
I mean, obviously that you're working with
you deal with
primates,
like spider monkeys, and
yeah. Well, the funny thing is, anthropology is the study of humans, which in that umbrella includes biological anthropology, which includes primatology, which study of all
we're
primates.
descending from gorillas or monkeys.
Well,
whatever.
we have a common ancestor, so yeah.
Primates. Yeah. Now, how'd you get into that?
You know, it's funny. I had reoccurring King Kong nightmares as a small child.
Did you?
Yeah.
I was scared. It's a scary movie, King Kong. Especially the latest one I loved. It's an underrated movie. The one that Peter Jackson did is so good. Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
The 2005. He came off the Lord of the Rings stuff, and like he was known for that. But I think he hit it out of the park. Heartbreaking. The story, everything, and the technology. I could see where that would give a kid nightmares.
It gave me nightmares, but I had a bit of a Stockholm syndrome because I ended up falling in love.
Well, that's what the King Kong's all about. Yeah.
I feel like I kind of embodied Fay Ray in a weird way because I ended up going into primatology. And I fell in love with science, but I felt like I didn't excel in math in high school, and I excelled in comedy because I was a chubby kid, so I kind of had to. Yeah, I was a little chubster.
How'd you lose the weight?
You know,
running after spider monkeys.
Best workout ever, honestly.
Sure,
is running after spider
like
monkeys. I always tell everybody, forget the fad diet, forget starving yourself, go chase some spider monkeys, and you're good to go.
It sounds like it.
It's true.
But you're not an advocate of having them as pets, of course. You got to make that clear, because some people, because that woman got her face ripped off.
Yeah, and that was a chimpanzee, and funny enough, spider monkeys are called chimpanzees of the New World. Yeah.
Is that a spider monkey?
Copy that. Yeah. No, that was actually a chimpanzee.
You can tell the difference.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I can do a spider monkey call. Sometimes they answer back.
Let's hear that. How you doing?
Wow.
They sound like birds.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm answering back. I just answered back.
Did you hear any? Are there any in the studio?
That is impressive.
So the spider monkey is the chimpanzee of the New World?
Well, they call them that because they have very similar reproductive strategies. Chimpanzees live in Africa, as you probably know, and then spider monkeys.
I don't know where exactly. Is that where they originate?
Yeah, they live in Africa, and then they're close relative bonobos, which are kind of the free love hippies of the primate world. They're the ones
why is that?
Because bonobos, where chimpanzees are known to settle any sort of disputes or uncomfortable situations through aggression, bonobos do it through lovemaking.
Oh.
Yes,
perfect.
and they also do a lot of. There's not really a line drawn between males and females. I mean, there's female-female interaction, male and male interaction.
Wow. Is there homosexuality in that world?
There is. There is.
Okay.
And homosexuality is documented in over 1,500 species of animals.
No kidding.
But we're the only ones that propagate homophobia. So that's what makes humans kind of the schmucks.
In the lion world, do you think?
Lion world, definitely.
Because that's really like where you'd think there'd be homophobia. Some of those king lions don't look like they would roll that way.
Actually, no, they're one of the species that they have been documented.
How do they act on this? How do they?
Is there metrosexuality in the animal world?
You know, I'm trying to think of a primate that I could equate with mandrills. Male mandrills, which are a type of primate, are very beautiful.
Oh, tell me something.
They're very lovely monkeys.
I'm sorry, John.
Colorful, big faces.
Colorful, big faces.
They might use rouge.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, you had a question.
Well, how do they act on these homosexual urges?
They bang guys.
Well, do lions bang lions?
I never saw that. They do.
I haven't seen this on National Geographic.
But I have, there is documentation that yes, male lions will engage in homosexual intercourse.
But then,
Wow.
wouldn't you think
And
that?
also
Don't you think there would
one
be
with other
footage of
lions.
that all over the place, like two guys doing it?
I mean, but would you want to see lions doing it? I mean, would you rather? I don't know. I mean, it depends on what the public wants.
Well, I
mean,
would think that would be a fascinating story.
I think the public is
Yeah.
more interested in like Christian the lion that was raised by humans, then released by humans, and then embraces the humans rather than bound chicka bound bound with Steve.
I love animal shows. I really do. I love
Yeah.
watching how they interact, and especially the lions. About that king. And I mean, those guy lions. They seem to have it made. They just walk up to any broad laying there and just hop on top,
Sup?
and then right, and they just walk away.
But you have to question. Maybe the ladies are into it. Maybe it's not just the guys that are like.
They don't
hey.
seem into it.
Are they checking their watch, seeing if the ceiling,
They look like the women I'm with mostly. They're just laying there.
I'm
The woman
sorry.
is just laying there like this. And all of a sudden, a guy just comes over and just starts. It's 4 seconds. Then she's pregnant. Then she has a litter, and the guy just abandons them. And then they bring the guy food.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like he really is the king of the kingdom.
Well, yeah, the females do a lot of work in pride.
It seems
it's,
they do.
It's true.
And they don't bitch about it.
Maybe they do. Maybe you just can't understand them.
Okay,
You never
I guess.
know. Maybe they're like, sons of bitches.
But there's definitely homosexuality in primates, like in.
Yeah, like in many species of animals, there is documented
But
homosexual
how do you know there's not
activity.
homophobia? How do you know that?
That's a good question. Maybe they are talking smack behind each other's back, but I quite honestly haven't seen any,
There's no evidence
no
of it.
legislation saying, there can't be.
And they don't get together and make a legislation.
Yeah, exactly. There's not a list of the 200 top, homosexual people like you see in Uganda right now.
Right.
There's none of that.
Well, that's scary. What's going on over there?
That's very scary.
Yeah.
And so, when I see stuff like that, it oftentimes makes me sad that our species has
We're not as
leaps and bounds in so many ways, but at the same time, so many steps back.
we're not as evolved as the primate.
No.
When we're talking about the spider monkeys again, being so
My favorite.
chimpanzee-esque, don't chimpanzees share like 97% of our DNA or something like that?
It's that much?
Yeah, 90. I
Wow.
believe it's 98.7 right now.
Wow.
So yeah.
So spider monkeys, how close are they?
They're
to
not
us?
as closely
Nowhere
related.
as
No.
close?
But what makes them the chimpanzees of the New World is their reproductive strategies are very similar to chimpanzees. Chimpanzees have kind of a promiscuous horde, if you will, where males and females are free to mate with one another. There's no monogamy like say in gibbons, which
There's no monogamy.
No.
Okay.
And they're very strict hierarchy in chimpanzees. There's a lot of dominant fight for dominance within chimpanzee males, and not so much in females because in chimpanzees they're patrilocal, meaning the males stay in the group and the males stay in the group and the females disperse, meaning the females don't have the close ties that say males will have in a group. What makes spider monkeys like chimpanzees is the fact that they kind of have this fission fusion. They mate with, they don't have monogamy. They can mate with different individuals. They also, what I've experienced and seen in my study is males will do these patrols. Chimpanzees are very notorious for patrolling their territory and look for other males from other groups and fight them, and oftentimes to the death.
Wow.
And
Wow.
spider monkeys, I've seen them quietly, which is very interesting because a lot of times spider monkeys are very loud, but quietly patrol their area. And I wrote one time, I have video of it, they saw us and proceeded to rip tree branches and throw them at us.
They're really strong.
Yeah,
Like even if they're small.
They're not that large, but they're very, very strong. And they ripped off these tree branches and were just pelting it at my partner, myself, and our wonderful guide, Hyro. And we were just like, oh, okay, maybe we should step back.
The gay chimpanzees, are they like more creative? Are they like, do they have better sense of decorating and stuff?
Well, that's the difference. Homosexual acts don't necessarily make you homosexual. So just because
I don't know what neighborhood you're from. What does that mean?
I'm from Burbank, California.
Well, that makes sense.
No,
Well, explain that. What do you mean?
because I mean, hey, we've all been to college. Maybe you indulged in some perhaps experimental acts. Maybe you didn't.
I've
I
either
don't
been to
wanna-
college or experimented with
But I'm just saying that I think.
Don't you think women do that more? I think.
No, well, I think it's open.
There's not a lot of straight guys
for
who've
women.
experimented.
I maybe that's because culturally it's not accepted, and I think
That's
sexuality
true.
is very fluid. I think sexuality. First of all, I think gender is very fluid. I think saying that there's just male and female is not fair. I think offering a third gender is a great
No,
opportunity.
whoa, here we go. Let's get into a discussion. What do you mean? Well, what would the third gender be?
Well, transgender, those that identify maybe born
Both.
one sex and or born one sex and identify as another.
Maybe have a vagina like on the side right here, and
Well, no, you
I
got.
wish I had a vagina. Listen, in a lot of ways I do.
But I definitely think that as far as primates go, our animal kingdom, that it's further proof that sexuality is very fluid. You don't have to be one or the other. Some people might be, and some animals might be strictly,
Right.
Well,
I'm sure they are.
batting for one team.
Right.
But
Yeah.
some might just be,
Do you
try
think?
that out.
Do you think every human being has a tendency to go the other way? Then is that what you're saying? Like if pushed the right way?
After enough beers. No, I don't know. I mean, I think that I would hate to label human beings as one thing or another, but I definitely think leaving it open, understanding that certain things cannot be labeled, that humans love to compartmentalize things. You're either, black, white, good, bad.
Well, I mean, but you either are black or white, though. I mean, that's a thing.
There's some people that identify as multiple ethnicities.
I'm talking about actually being the color, though.
Yeah, if you are this color, which is I'm pointing to a black microphone.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
And
What
we're
do
in a
you
white
mean,
piece of paper.
culture-wise? Like, how do you act? I mean, acting black. What does that mean?
No. I'm just saying, like, we like to compartmentalize. We like binomial oppositions, good
Right.
versus bad, black versus white. That does not necessarily mean skin color. That just means,
Right.
A class thing, you mean? Like, or
No,
not even,
just
no. I'm just talking about we like to compartmentalize
polarities.
male versus female.
Okay.
We like to polarize different parts of our either lifestyle or just the way we are. And I think that doesn't leave much room for the gray, for the interpretation of the gray. And that's why I
Right.
think things like sexuality and gender can be fluid. And I definitely support that way of looking at things.
what do you consider yourself?
What do I consider myself? That's a great question. I
Are you bisexual?
No, I would definitely identify as heterosexual, but I don't necessarily. If I fell in love with a woman, I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't see that being.
I don't think it's a bad thing either, but I think could it happen?
Well, yeah, of course, I
Yeah.
think it definitely could. I definitely, for me, as a human being, I fall in love with. I mean, without sounding ethereal and hippy dippy, I definitely fall in love with people who they are, not just a facade. Because
Your message is if someone does fall in love with the same sex, it's not a bad thing. Like some people think. I totally agree with that. Sure.
Because what's under the veneer of vanity can be beautiful. And
you like to think we're more evolved than that, but then you see these constant stories where there actually is legislation and it's still being out there.
scary.
Yeah, no, it is scary. You're right.
Arizona's a frightening place.
I know. Like, can someone explain exactly what the Arizona law? What just happened there?
Well, quite honestly, I don't know all of it right now. I'm just seeing it as it's trickling
They
in.
passed some
I know
sort
more
of
about.
thing.
And funny enough, I know more about what's going on in Uganda than I do in Arizona. But
Well, that's scary too.
Yeah,
But what did they do basically?
that's a great
You're
question.
allowed to what,
Shane,
John?
you know it.
You can refuse to, if you have a
Serve.
service,
Provide
you can
service
provide
to-
service to someone. You can refuse
like
it.
a hotel, a
Right.
restaurant.
Or wedding. They used wedding photographers. If it was a homosexual couple, the wedding photographer could
Wow.
refuse.
And that makes me so
And that's like
excited.
codified into law. It's a real thing.
The legislature passed it. The governor is going to veto it because the NFL said if you
I hope.
pass this, you're not going to get the Super Bowl.
And
Yeah,
they're
and
citing
what it should.
religious beliefs as your reason for being allowed to do that.
Wow. That's scary. That's pretty scary. Because that just leads to a lot of hatred.
That's a slippery slope.
Right.
That's a very
then,
slippery
but
slope,
see,
and
here's
it's
what they're
sick.
saying, though. Shane just said the magic word. Religion. When you say that, you can justify a lot of things. That's what all over the world, religion. That's been the cause of, ironically enough, wars. But I don't know. See, when you say religion, then people get iffy. Like, oh, maybe, okay, it's the religion. We shouldn't mess with it. But
Yeah.
I
Well,
think it's
actually, I
bad.
saw somebody posted that, and that. Thank you for clarifying, because I've been reading up a lot about what's going on in Uganda and Nigeria, and I was like, God damn it, I wish I knew more about what's going on in Arizona. Which makes me scary.
What's officially the Uganda situation?
Well, right now they're outlawing homosexuality, and they actually have a
You
list.
could go to jail.
Yeah, and they're outing people. People are getting killed. They've outed the 200
They out
top
you
homosexuals.
so that people will kill you.
Yeah.
People have been killed,
Wow.
yes. And I have friends that actually work, they're primatologists that would love to work in Uganda, but they are afraid.
How did this happen what happened all of a sudden with this, where this just happened? Like,
I don't know if it's all of a sudden or if so much as it's getting
it's been in the
press
works,
now.
and now it's getting press, right? People.
Well, I mean, I think it's happening, but I think maybe it's a response to the rest of the world and the United States slowly opening up.
That is scary stuff.
Well, who's doing
if it's against,
this,
they make it against the law, man. That's brutal.
Yeah.
Maybe this isn't the central government doing it. This is like the warlords who are like taking it.
No, as
upon
far as I know,
themselves
it's the police. It's the
Wow.
government.
Yeah, that's what's scary about it. No, it's the actual
legislation.
government.
It's not.
Wow.
And I know that people were in Arizona where there was a restaurant that posted a sign that said, has the right to refuse to serve Arizona legislators. So,
okay.
I mean, and that's their
there's
response.
going to be backlash.
There's going to be a lot of backlash.
All right. Well, listen. We're going to take a break. We're going to continue. You can hang out, right? Continue
I'm
more with
here.
Natalia Reagan and some more interesting stuff.
The Artie Lange Show, weeknights on Audience, only on DirecTV.